Hi everyone. I hope, yeah, I've got flashing lights, but all good. We're going. Oh, brilliant. Lovely to see everyone. Happy Friday, happy lunchtime, breakfast time, dinner time, whatever it is for you. It's lunchtime for me, and it's Friday, and it's not quite so hot over here in the UK as it has been. I know I hate it when people talk about the weather, but oh my goodness, normally here we moan about how cold it is, but we're moaning now about how hot it is. So yeah, it's cooled down. I had lots of messages from people asking if I was okay that don't live here, and we're saying, you know, we know you're not used to this hot weather, and we're absolutely not used to this hot weather. So I'm just popping in to say hello. Bring a sprinkle of crochet to your Friday lunchtime or daytime, whatever it is, and let you know that the last installment of the strawberries and cream blanket live. So I'll put the information, I'll pop a comment there for you, and you can go and follow that link and find it. And I would love to know if you are making, how it's going. I've seen so many beautiful blankets. Lots of people have already finished, stormed ahead. It's amazing. If you're following along on the blog with the free option, then that's now all complete. All of the pattern is there for you, and you can find everything you need there. And there are other videos because each section has got a video to accompany it. And what I'll do, I'll share my screen now and I'll just show you where to go and get the information. So this is the blanket that we have been making throughout the month of July, and people are doing so brilliantly well with it. And this week we're focusing on, I don't know if you can see my cursor actually moving there, we're focusing on this here, the border, so these little cluster stitches that create the little strawberries. And then on this post, this will tell you how to get access to whichever version you want. So you can get it free on the blog with ads, you can buy just the ebook, or you can buy the whole course. And I've had people asking, you know, what stitches are we doing? What's included in the course, all those kinds of things, and all of that is on this page here. It tells you all those bits and pieces and where to sign up for it as well. So go and have a little look at that. And if you're here and you're making and working on it today, I have seen a picture today of someone in a tent at a campsite on their holiday working on it. They said, I think it's Judith, who I think has said it's raining outside, so I decided to just sit in my tent and crochet all day. So yay for some rain. And or people I know have been over here in the UK in the heat wave, have been just hiding up in their bedrooms with the windows open and the curtains closed, just crocheting away. So let me know where's the weirdest place that you've ever crocheted, or the strangest situation that you've ever crocheted in. I think for me, I haven't planned to talk about this. I don't know why I'm suddenly going off on this. For me, it's not a weird place, but that most of this strawberries and cream blanket was made whilst I was rocking a pushchair. So my youngest, Oliver, I made this when he was really little, and I designed it so that I could just start a section and then just roll with it, just go with it. And I would rock him to sleep in the pushchair because it was during the time of all the lockdowns and everything, and it was really hard to go out much. You know, even just for going for a walk to get him to go to sleep was hard work. So I would just rock him in the kitchen because we've got bobbly tiles, and the bobbliness would send him to sleep, and I would just crochet. So I'm very adept at rocking a pushchair with just one foot and crocheting at the same time. So that's my weird and wonderful one. So hello Facebook user, it doesn't tell me your name unfortunately. Hello whoever it is that has just waved. I hope you're having a lovely day. So this week we are focusing on the border of the strawberries and cream blanket, which goes, I haven't got it to show you because I still don't have it, and I will never have it. And until I get myself in gear and actually make myself another version, I won't have a blanket. So the border goes all the way around the blanket, and my top tips would be, I've got my little sample here to show you all the different stitches. My top tip would be to weave in all your ends first of all. Now, I know lots of people have been really good about this and have been weaving in as they go. Well done, massive respect to you. But make sure before you start, everything is weaved in, and then I would give it a block. Regardless of what kind of fibre content you've used, block it, whether that's a spray block, can't speak, whether it's a spray block, a wet block, or fully submerged, however you want to do it, whatever your fibre calls for to get it to the measurements, or not even necessarily the measurements. You could actually just make sure that it's nice and straight. That's all you want. You want nice and straight edges and even stitches. So block it first, and then work the border all the way around it. And you'll see, I don't know how well you can see there, but the first part of the border is this intersection. So we do 2 rounds, because we're going to go all the way around it, of the intersection pattern. So you already know how to do that. That's no great drama. And then we do the little cluster stitches that I just showed you in the picture there. So they're little clusters of US double crochet stitches. And they're in that red colour. That's how I did it. You don't have to, you can use whatever colour you like to represent strawberries. And then following that, we do a round of green, which is then just like the little stalks and the little leaves of them. But most of that round, as you do it, you'll be like, hang on a minute, Hannah, this doesn't look like yours. Most of that round actually gets covered up by the next round. So don't worry if you do that green and you think this doesn't look right. I'm sure it will be right. And do watch the video. The video tutorial is also ready for you to watch for the border. And then we finish the whole lot off with another 2 rounds of this intersection. So hi Janice, hello, how are you? Are you making a strawberries and cream blanket, Janice? Let me know. So yeah, so that's it for the border really. And I have seen some amazing versions already that have switched the border up, that have used green in the border, all green in the border, and not put any red in it, or done a pop of colour, but a pop of their colour from their colour palette. And I've also seen people do it in completely neutral colour as well. And one thing that did pop into my head earlier is that if you didn't want to do the cluster stitches, if you don't fancy those, because they are yarn eaters, they really are, you could just do 4 rounds of this intersection and then see how that looks. And that would be a really lovely, clean, simple border that would tie in really nicely with the whole blanket. So I just said it, I was just live a minute ago over on Instagram, and I said that most designers aren't like that, and most don't say, go for it and do whatever you like with my design. Whereas I'm like, yeah, do whatever you like and then show me what you've done. Oh, Janice says, this is my next project. Yay! Are you going to use, what colours are you going to use, Janice? Have you decided yet? I would love to know. And if you've decided, post a picture and let us all see, because that's another thing that I wanted to say. I find it so inspiring to see people's colour choices, to see how people put their stitches together, how they work their projects. It doesn't have to be this project, it's any project. I really, really love to see how people interpret things and how they make them how they use them for their own, to suit them. I'm not getting this out quite right, but I hope you know what I mean. I want to inspire people through my colour choices, through my stitches, through my design process, to try things that they have never tried before, to achieve things that they never thought they could, but also to make things that they actually want to wear and actually want to keep and actually want to use in their homes. So there's absolutely no point, I don't think, in making something that you don't like the colours of, and that you think you make a cardigan, for example, that you don't like the style, you're never going to wear it, but you think, oh yeah, I should make that. Don't do that. Make something that will suit you, that you love. Make something that you love, because crochet is so important to all of us, I think, isn't it? That you need to love what you're making. It shouldn't be an arduous task. It should be a wonderful, wonderful thing that relaxes you and excites you and challenges you. So I didn't expect to say that either. I don't know where that came from either. What have we got here? What have we got? Oh, things going. The colours are very close to yours, as it's beautiful. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, and it's, hang on, I don't know if it works. Yay, it does work. So thank you for getting me out of my comfort zone. Love the pattern. I'll be making many of them. Oh, that makes me so happy. So happy. What's this? So Laurie has said, I'm going to be starting soon. Oh, take apart a cake yarn to get my individual colours, hoping for the best. I think that's an amazing idea, Laurie. And I have seen someone already doing that they really loved. You know, the sort of mandala cakes of yarn that are variegated. I think that's the word they use for them, isn't it? And you get lengths of different colours. And someone basically, it must have taken forever, but they undid the whole thing and separated all the colours and then decided where they were going to use them within the blanket. So I think that's an awesome idea. And I would very much like to see that when you do it. But we've had so many people using up their stash, so many people buying new yarn, all sorts of different things. Oh, here we go. This is Margie. Oh, not sure her name doesn't show. Yeah, it doesn't on Facebook, unfortunately. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. I haven't started on the blanket yet, but I'm looking at the ones that are popping up are really so nice. But how about if you don't weave in the ends and leave them as a fringe? Yes. So that is my normal tactic. You've rumbled me. So on this chart, and that's very, very good, easy segue then. Thank you very much. To here, look, I often, if I'm doing colourwork things, do create fringes out of stuff. So if that's something that you would like to do, if you really can't be bothered to weave in the ends and you are happy with creating a fringe, most definitely go for it. Just select whichever colours that you think go nicely together and then do them evenly along the edges of your blanket and do them up. And then you won't need to work the border at all. And I think that would look really, really lovely as well. I suppose it depends what you want to use it for. If you're using it for a baby blanket, you just have to be a little bit careful. But yeah, I love that idea. And if you're using cotton yarn, that's the other thing that I do. This is made in cotton. Once I have made the tassels, or fringe, I then separate all of the strands, and it just makes it look a bit fluffier and a bit more delicate. So that's one thing that I really love to do on my fringes as well. And so the other thing I wanted to show you is that now you know the stitches. I don't know where it's gone. Oh, it's on my lap. Now you know all of these stitches. My question to you is what I should leave this till next week actually to chat about, but I'm going to say it today anyway. What are you going to try next? What is your next goal, your next aim, and your next challenge that take something you have learned from this and then apply it to your next pattern, your next project? Because you've learned so many things within this about colour work, about stitch placement, about colour, about all sorts of different things, about carrying your yarns, different stitches like the herringbone stitch. Lots of people said they hadn't tried the herringbone stitch before. Some people didn't enjoy it, but at least you know now, at least you know, at least you've tried it. That's the main thing. So yeah, what's your next thing going to be? Because I went digging in my sample stash this morning and thought, right, let's find things that you can use aspects that you've learned from this for. So first one is this is my Skittles poncho, and I was wearing it just a minute ago, obviously on my hang on, I'm not sure if it's, sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. There's my summer poncho. If anyone wants to go and look at it on the blog, it's free on the blog. And this uses exactly the same stitch technique as this plaid style stitch, but because of the placement of the colours, it looks entirely different. So it's the same concept of making chain spaces and then working down over the top of those chain spaces and into the space below. So it could, I can't even remember. Yeah, it does work. Sorry, I'm looking down at it now. Yeah, you can work into the stitches 2 rows below, or you can make it more open and just work into the chain spaces, and then it will be a much more lacy effect. But yeah, this one I love. It's basically 2 rectangles. You don't even seam the sides. You just make a tie around the middle, and you just seam the shoulders however you would like to, with a whip stitch or a slip stitch seam. And it creates a really lovely, easy to wear summer poncho. And then the other thing that I found garment wise was my Barcode Poncho. And now this is a similar affair. It's basically 2 blankets seamed together at the shoulders, and then I did create side seams as well, nice deep armholes there, and then a little cuff at the bottom and the back and the front, and a little neckline popped on. And so for anyone who is petrified of garments, because I know you're out there. I was too. I was definitely petrified of them once upon a time. These, I think, would be a really good first place to start, because you know how to do the stitches. This is exactly the same. This is the same kind of moss stitch that works over the top, that literally exactly the same as that plaid style stitch that we used in the blanket. And this started life as a baby blanket because I actually wanted to make one for my friend who was having a baby, and she never got it. She got a different one instead, because once I was making it, I thought, I really like that, I want to wear it. So I just made a matching one and made it into a poncho. So if your next thing that you would like to tackle is garments, and you're petrified of the shaping and the numbers and all that kind of stuff, choose something like this. Choose something that's an easy shape, that's kind of like a blanket just joined together, but that uses a technique that you've learnt in this crochet along. Because what an amazing thing to do, to build on the knowledge and the skills that we have gathered together. So that's my inspirational thing for the day, is to go do that thing, go find that next thing, because we're on a roll now. Everyone is doing stuff that they have not done before and that they're really excited. Well, I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell. I'm so happy that people are having a go at these things. This is the thing. My mum always says to me, she looks at me and says, oh, I'll have a go at that. And she invariably hardly ever does. And that's not a criticism of my mum at all. She's amazing, and she's very, very talented at knitting and crocheting. But sometimes there's just something that holds you back, isn't there, that makes you think, oh, I'm not sure if I'll be good enough for that. I don't think I can manage that. But do you know what? You might. And I've put as much resources and as much everything into all of my patterns and designs as I can to get you there. So if you ever have a problem with any of them, just contact me and we will work through it together. Oh, such a pretty top. Thank you very much. Yeah, these colours. Oh, Mum is listening. Oh dear. Hello, Mum. How are you? These colours are not normally my go-to colours, but I actually really like them. And yeah, I think they're very summery and they make me feel bright. So that's another thing that I would encourage you to do, is use what you've learned from choosing your colours in this crochet along to work out what to do next in terms of colors as well, and push yourself to try different combinations, and maybe things that not necessarily you wouldn't wear, but that you wouldn't necessarily put together, and just see how that works for you, because it is really great fun to find new combinations of stuff. Oh, Susan is in Hampshire currently. Susan, so am I live in Hampshire, so hello, you're probably just down the road. The other things that I found in my stash are things that use not only this kind of moss stitch that we've learned, but also the herringbone stitch, which I know, again, was quite new to lots of people. So these mittens, they use the herringbone moss stitch, and there's a full video tutorial for these. And I promise you, if you can work the moss stitch that we've learned, and if you can do the herringbone stitch that we've learned, then you can absolutely make these. They're done in the round, and there's a whole video for them. So yeah, you can definitely do those. Similarly, this headband, which is done in exactly the same stitch. So yeah, I'm holding it upside down, but never mind, don't tell anyone. It's in exactly the same stitch, but in chunky yarn, and then with this bit squished around the middle. So that's probably a better entry level one if you're a bit scared of learning this stitch. And you could use different colors like we did in the blanket. You can always use alternating rows, or just put a pop of color around the center maybe. So I am waffling and there's lots of people talking at me. Oh, someone has said, I'm not sure who it is, but said that I'm terrible for that, as in like wanting to do something but not going for it. And that's why I didn't learn to crochet until a few years ago, and should have done it sooner. I love it. Yeah, like it applies for everything in life, doesn't it? And just, you've just got to have a go, haven't you? And we can't be perfect at everything straight away. There are loads of people that through the gingham stitch of this, so they got really frustrated because they couldn't cover the yarn well enough, or they weren't happy with how the yarn was covering and that kind of stuff. It's a learning process, and each time you do stuff like this, you will get better and better and better at it. I mean, just think about the first time that you tried to make a granny square or something, or did a line of stitches and then realised that you'd added 2 on the end or something silly like that. That absolutely everyone does. So yeah, just be kind to yourself, but also have a go, because if you don't have a go, you won't know, will you? Oh, it was Janice. Oh, hello, Janice. And then someone else is asking, sorry, again, I don't know who this is. Was it DK for this blanket? Yes. So the yarn I use for this blanket is not near me. I normally have it near me, sorry. I used Paint Box double knit. So that's a category 3 weight yarn. But I have seen an awful lot of people using worsted weight yarn, and it's coming out not significantly different in size. So a category 3 or a category 4 weight yarn. And I mean, for things like a blanket, it doesn't really matter, does it? And again, I know I'm not meant to say that as a designer, but yeah, it doesn't really matter what weight of yarn you use. You could always even use a fingering weight yarn if you're feeling brave. But if you wanted it to be the same size, then you would obviously have to increase the width and then the depth of your sections. So everything is possible with this. You can use any weight of yarn. And in fact, I have got a blanket coming out, not quite sure when, but at some point, that I have worked out the stitches and this and that for most categories of yarn. So I think from 3 through to 6, I have worked it out so that you don't have to go and figure it out yourself. So I'm very excited to launch that one soon. Sorry, I was just reading there. I like the herringbone stitch, but if you've done it for a long time and need to go back to normal double crochet stitch, it can be tricky. Oh my goodness, yes. So I was filming, I know exactly what you mean. I was filming a tutorial the other day that used normal half double crochets, and I had been previously working the evening before on one that used herringbone stitches, herringbone half double crochet, and oh my goodness, I kept getting it wrong because it is muscle memory, isn't it? And that's the whole point of why I think blankets are really good to do, because you build up that muscle memory. You do the stitches again and again and again, and your brain isn't being taxed by working out, right, okay, how many do I need to count before I need to do shaping or increasing or this or that or the rest, like you do for more complex pieces of work. You're actually just going, right, I'm just going to go until the end of the row now in this stitch, done. So I think it's really good from that point of view, but it does work the opposite way, doesn't it? And it does, then you've got that muscle memory that sticks with you. And then when you're working in something else, you're like, oh dear, I can't get it right. So I completely understand what you're saying. And the last thing that I wanted to show you today is something, again, this is a bit of a sneak peek. No one has seen this yet. And I don't know if the lighting is good enough actually to show you. But like my herringbone stitch mittens, I have challenged myself. This is my challenge of my year. Oh, you really can't see it, can you? That's annoying. I'll hold it up a bit closer. There we go. This is a Raglan sweater. This one fits Oliver, my youngest, who's 2, almost 3. And I haven't even weaved in the ends yet. Don't tell anyone. But it uses herringbone stitches, half double crochet herringbone stitches up here at the top. And then it turns into the half double crochet herringbone moss stitch down here at the bottom, and we're working in rounds. That's the back side there, and this is the front side here. We work in rounds, and it's such an easy, lovely, lovely stitch to do once you get going. So you know everything that you need to know about how to do this from the strawberries and cream blanket. You know everything. And so my challenge to you is, when this comes out, if you fancy making this for someone or other, a little person, then go do it. Go do it, because I'm doing a video for this one as well. And so the only things that you'll need to know, learn extra than you already know in this strawberries and cream, is how to do your slip stitch rib, which you know how to do a slip stitch, and I can show you that, and then how to get your counting right for where you split for the sleeves. But there is nothing more complicated in this than we have already learned in the strawberries and cream. And oh, Janice has said that's lovely. Thank you, Janice. Yeah, children grow so fast, don't they? Which is amazing. But at the same time, I made this for him, and I'm filming and getting ready. And then I was like, oh, I better take some photos of him and actually get him to start wearing it, because they grow so quickly, and it's probably a bit tight on him now. But yeah, my challenge to you is to pick that thing, find that thing that you would love to try and do, but you have avoided because you think it's too tricky, and then just have a go. Have a go, because we've achieved so much together doing this blanket. We are achieving so much together because you know, community and helping each other is the way to do it, isn't it? Finding that help, finding that support. And I meant to mention this the other week, but I know that there is a crochet group. I'm not sure where they are. I think they're based in the UK here, but all of the crochet group are all making this blanket together. So they're actually not like digitally doing it together, virtually doing it together like we are, but they're actually doing it in person together. So what an amazing thing, what an amazing community that we have. Anyway, that's enough waffle from me. I've gone off on a complete tangent. I normally write like a little list of things that I want to tell you, but I didn't. And you can probably tell because I'm waffling away. But it's been lovely to chat. If anyone has any questions, if you're watching this on a replay later, pop some questions down below for me. Anything about the border, about the stitches, about anything that you need to know. And go and check that link for, where is it? There it is. This link here, and that will tell you if you haven't already joined, or if you've lost where you need to go for it, because I know it's a bit of a spider's web sometimes, the internet, isn't it? And it takes you down yeah, that you didn't need to go down. That has got all the links for where to find the free version, the PDF, and the course. And yeah, go grab it. Go make more of your blanket and show us your version. So I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. And it's not too hot and it's not too cold, just in the middle. That's all we need, just in the middle. And I will see you again next week. But next week, I'll let you know if you're on my subscriber list, you'll get a message anyway. But I'm going to be going live on Thursday, because on Friday I am taking, because it's school holidays now for us, my eldest has started his school holidays, and I'm taking his advice. On the way home yesterday, he said to me, Mummy, I think you need a holiday from crochet. He was completely unprompted. He just said, Mummy, you crochet too much. And also at your desk too much. So I am going to take him out for a surprise trip, just me and him, on Friday. And so I will come live on Thursday instead, and we will wrap the whole thing up. And I want you to come back to me and tell me what you're going to make. What's your challenge that you've chosen to do next? So yeah, have a lovely weekend, and I